right. First and foremost, want to give our praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bashim Yahweh Shah, Bashim Kakwadash. Want to give double honors to the apostle of GMS Well. Peace, blessings, salutations to the hopeful elect that consists of you, so-called Negro, Latino, Hispanic, Native American, West Indians, which make up the house of the 12 tribes of Israel. Those where you be edified, and those where don't get no interruptions. Like I said, our people are through niggas. So as the title states, jealousy and bad parenting as mothers. Again from the book, Shahrazad Ali. I'm going to bring out this real quick. So, Sirach 26:6, it says, but a woman jealous of another woman causes heartache and grief. Her tongue lashes out at everyone. So, I read that to read this. Then I'm going to read the next part, which is heavy. So it states, if the black man has children by another woman from a previous relationship, matter of fact, hold on. I'm gonna read this. Yeah, I'm gonna read this. And it's another part in this book that talks about the other woman and children with another woman. But I'm gonna just read this part. So it says, if the black man has children by another woman from a previous relationship, the black woman does not like it and may not accept the child as the sister or brother of the one she has. She may do everything she can to keep her child from even knowing that other children exist who have the same father. I've seen that in many cases. She bases this on her warped ideas of what she believes her child's family structure should be like. And it's funny because, especially to this day of time, a lot of the women of Israel, which have become 2/3, they have a lot of kids by different men. And basically she tries to be in one household with these kids by different men. So it says she bases this on her warped ideas of what she believes her child's family structure should be like. She may insist that her child have expensive toys and clothes and gadgets galore. And if the black man pays child support to what is wrongly labeled as his outside child, she increases her demands to make sure that hers is well taken care of first. She discounts the desire of the black man to have all his seed know and love each other. He is often forced to live a double life because if he brings up his outside child at home, his living black woman will raise hell. She may selfishly think only of herself and will try to prevent any of her friends from knowing that her man has other children. She and her family may not include his outside child in family gatherings or holiday activities. If she must confront or accept the child, she may slyly ask questions to learn about the mother or to find out how much time her man actually spends with it. She refers to the child she birthed as mine and to the other child as his. This is wrong. They are all his. Black women are also famous for not trusting each other with each other's children if they had them by the same man. They think because of what is in their own hearts that the other woman may mistreat her child. All of this is ignorance because children are always elated to find out about or meet their other sisters and brothers. Some black children are deprived of this right for many years. And it's funny, my situation with my father. So let me see. Some black children are deprived of this right for many years, sometimes until adulthood. Whether or not the children should know each other should be discussed in terms of the development of the children, not the whim of the adult. Sometimes separation is the only way it can be, but the black man should have the final say so on his children, and the black woman should do her part to form the kind of nation that he chooses for his offspring. So that's the part on the jealousy of another woman. There's much more in this book about it, but just wanted to bring this point. Um, it's an audio book of this book as well. If if you don't want to get the book, you can listen to the audio. But it's a part. I'm trying to find it now. Chapter 16 on page 154 talks about the other woman and that jealousy thing. It talks about the jealousy thing there, which is heavy. So the next point is bad parenting, right? And this is why a lot of boys that grow up in the household of single mothers become very weird, and they grow up to be weird and very feminine. And we all have seen this even to this day. Um, I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, the Willie Lynch letter talks about that as well. So let me see. Let me get that. So I'm gonna get this in Sirach 3. Trying to find that quick point. Hold on, Salaki. Hold on. I don't know why. So it says, Salaki, Sirach 3 and 9. For the blessing of the father establisheth the houses of children, but the curse of the mother rooteth out foundations. So we understand, we should all know by now, the foundation of fathers, mothers, and a family structure. But unfortunately, we don't, and we're seeing the repercussions behind it. And we're seeing the repercussions of bad parenting, bad fatherhood, and bad motherhood. And thus, in the year 2025, you see a lot of this throughness. Um, so just even outside my crib, you just got a bunch of just derelicts and delinquents, man. Just the results of bad parenting. So this is on page 107. Listen up good. It says, until the black woman accepts her appointed duty as mother and wife, blacks will continue to see the destruction of the black family. There is no magic about how a nation survives to leave a legacy of a glorious past. There are principles that govern the outcome. Let me see something real quick. Hold on. I think something, Sirach 21. Let me see something real quick. Let me see. Hold on. I gotta find this one. I think. Damn. I forgot how it goes. I'm trying to see something. Swap. Hold on, Swap. Bear with me one moment. I think it has to do something with the moms messing up a family. I don't know. Um, Let me see if it comes up right here. Bear with me one moment. Slocky again. All right. So it's Sirach 26. Let me see. No. This ain't. I'm tripping. Yeah, I'm tripping. Um. Yeah, I can't find it. Well, anyway, let me get back to the point. Slocky. So it says, there are principles that govern the outcome of any given set of circumstances. By abandoning the principles of a civilized black society, the black woman has instead absorbed a set of morals that help destroy black people. She is waiting for something external to happen in order to change herself internally, to change the way she thinks about her man and her children and any other children he sires. Few children are planned, they are only a byproduct of sexual intercourse. It is impossible for a black woman to raise a black male child who is confident and secure if during his lifetime all he hears from his mother is derogatory remarks about black men. And that's why even to this day, these men, um, one thing these women keep talking about is, these men are sassy and zesty and weird and through pathetic, mentally unstable. Well, ever since 1960s and 70s, it's been a matriarchy. The patriarch has pretty much been destroyed after the civil rights. So it says he is yeah, he is usually attached to his mother, and she is often treats him as if he is deaf. I must read that again. It is impossible for a black woman to raise a black male child who is confident and secure if during his lifetime all he hears from his mother is derogatory remarks about black men. He is usually attached to his mother, and she often treats him as if he is deaf. She talks to her friends and family and does not realize the male child may be paying rapt attention to her every word and action. Yeah, that's why as when a child is 1 years old, he picks up, he observes, and is not stupid. You got this little thing with women and these fucking adults. They really believe that a child is a baby until it turns 18. No. As soon as that child turns a couple months old, and especially a year, that baby is very high functioning. That's why it's very important you guard and you protect what your children are seeing, you know? in your words that you use. That's why honestly, man, your children shouldn't be growing up watching cartoons, man. So it says he is you he Salaki. She does not have a special set of guidelines she uses to raise her boy child. The most she knows about the development of a black boy is to make sure that he develops physically, usually sports wise, so he can gain the muscle strength and masculinity he will need as a man. She is used to changing with the times and therefore has no sense of steady direction by which to steer the black boy. Often she makes the boy child hang out with she and her woman friends. She knows little about how to make a man so the boy is overly exposed to the feminine side of life. The black woman has a very special love for her male baby. Her boy remains her prize. And we all seen that in orders in every household. She may also change clothes in front of the boy, bathe or walk around half dressed. She will also allow him to sleep in the same bed with her for an inordinate length of time up to several years old. She says she doesn't see anything wrong with this type of behavior. After all, she says, I'm his mother. When he is born, she lays him on her stomach or chest and lets him sleep there. It is a bonding process. After he is weaned, sometimes she continues to let him sleep on top of her or across her lap. While this is not a questionable practice of a mother, it is not always a good idea for a male baby because he becomes too accustomed to the scent of his mother's body, including her vagina. During this stage, she may also be kissing him in the mouth or sucking his lips instead of kissing him on the cheeks or forehead. She also thinks that this practice is okay. She's his mother. The baby is not mentally developed enough to understand that his mother is prohibited to him sexually. He may not even be able to understand or identify it as a sexual attraction since the sensation of being close to his mother's body has always been pleasurable to him. It is also pleasurable to the mother, just as nursing is. The black mother is not intentionally participating in unhealthy behavior with her baby son. She just doesn't know any better. The mother has a special relationship with her son. This is not to say that the daughter is estranged from her or that the baby girl is less adored, but the black boy, baby boy, represents the only black male that the black woman can execute any control over, and she may try to wean him of all ideas, notions, and attitudes she resents in the adult black male. And I've seen this heavily growing up amongst Judah and also amongst Northern Kingdom. Um, in effect, she tries to brainwash him against the natural traits of his nature. She may preach to him from a very young age that she does not want him to turn out like his father. The confused values and ideas the black woman stores are not limited to the black girl. She cannot successfully raise a black male child without a black man. Let me see. So I'm gonna continue on. Um, she does not have it in her. She barely knows how to teach or train the black female child, and she knows absolutely nothing about how to be a man to a woman or a woman to a man. Unfortunately, she will also use her children as a way to get back at the black man or punish him. She will refuse to allow the black father to have access to the child based on the adult problems she and the father are having. The children should not suffer because of disagreements between the parents. She would rather the child not have a father figure or be shifted from one man friend to the next rather than to allow the black father to raise his own child. Unless the black father voluntarily gives up his rights as a father for the peace and benefit of the child, the mother should promote the relationship. Let me see. All right, so I'm gonna jump down. So it says the black woman is the vehicle of the disease ideas that permeate the minds of black youth. Yeah, because of the matriarchy. Um, Remember, Section 8, government assistance, chaos in the neighborhood, disease, murder, envy, lust, everything. Remember, they don't give black men. They never gave a black man Section 8 or welfare. They gave it to our women. Majority of our men, because this started in I want to say roughly the 70s, when they were locking Jake up. You had all the presidents, so-called presidents. Ronald Reagan with the crack cocaine era, the termination of jobs. They stopped. They didn't allow the so-called black men to be head over the households. So they, were firing him, wouldn't give him no money, wouldn't allow him to work, create his own business, etc. So they pretty much locked him up, caused them, forced them to a way of crime to get them out of the household. The scripture says, in order to take over the roughly paraphrase, to take over the nation, you got to bind a strong man. And went to our woman and used her fear, her how you say her frozen state of broken. It says it in Willie Lynch, but using her fear and her sense of feeling defenseless and unprotected, Esau came in with Section 8 and welfare, food stamps, etc. And once they put them in those vicinities, the ghettos, the favelas, the slums, the caserio, Esau pretty much involved nothing but crime and decadence and decay, and decay there. And this is what you see. That's why you from that era, that era when the project was first set up, you've been having generation, and generations in the projects, man. Nothing has changed. So it says the black woman is the vehicle of the diseased ideas that permeate the minds of black youth. She allowed destructive suggestions to invade her children and did not replace them with better values. She cannot properly teach her children until she has been properly taught herself. Motherhood skills are not automatic. The mother's love connection to the cub is automatic, but that feeling is just the basis for inspiration to do the other work necessary to raise a child. So the black woman must have a new set of instruction and mothering techniques that will produce a new black child. It may take up to 50 years just to retain the black woman to respect the black man. It is the black woman. It is the black woman who must institute this change, and it is a change that must be made in the cradle, and one she must learn to practice. Um, I'm gonna read this and I'm gonna end it. If the black woman chooses fancy clothes and jobs over saving her man, children, and home, the American government cannot be charged with inflicting genocide on black people. But remember, it was the American government that started the idea with feminism. It says she herself will be guilty of suicide and murder. She destroys herself and kills off her nation as a whole. Remember, like the scripture says, from the woman we all die. It says, and like the scripture says also, the man wasn't beguiled, but Eve was beguiled by the serpent. So Esau came in again in modern day as a serpent. Here, Keisha, feminism, aid, government assistance, food. You don't have to worry about your man. Take this money every month. First, what is it? First and the fifth. Don't worry about it. We'll be your new daddy. We'll be Zaddy. Just depend on us. We'll make sure every month You'll be right there. Just let us know what's going on. Just give us all your information. So we're just gonna keep you in a wage gap. You know, make it seem like you're doing something. We give you the entertainment. Because really you're dead inside. So we'll just give you entertainment, but eventually we're gonna cause a lot of you affliction between you and your man, drama, etc. And this is what has happened in the projects and the ghettos, and it has also stemmed over and crossed over to wherever so-called black households are. So it says she destroys herself and kills off her nation as a whole. Graveyards and incinerators are filled with the fruit of her womb, and she is not concerned. She believes that there is not enough room on earth for her child, and she believes she will not be able to afford to raise it. And she believes that birth control is the key to her well-being and future. She assents to abortion. She does not recognize her power. She practices selective breeding because she alone decides black which black child will be born and which one will not. So let me see. That's pretty much it. So you pretty much get the point. Bad parenting. It also goes back with Deuteronomy 28. I'm gonna just go ahead and get it before I close it. Let me get that real quick. Deuteronomy 28. I think it's 54. No, it's 56. So Deuteronomy 28:56, the tender and delicate woman among you, which will not venture to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eyes should be evil toward the husband of her bosom, and toward her son, and toward her daughter. And that's a curse that was put upon us that Esau came in and used and turned our people inside out. And this is the problem we get. That's why this is another cut on those rat bastards that call themselves Jews. They're not cursed as us, so-called blacks. And you can't only say so-called blacks, because again, I grew up around Puerto Ricans, and I grew up around so-called Mexicans and Hispanics as well, and West Indians. I've seen it all in these households as well. So we indeed make up the house of the 12 tribes of Israel, and we indeed are cursed right now. But through Yahweh Shah, we try to get it together. With that, Lord's will is edified, and Shalom.